All right, here we are. Virginia Golf Cars got a great episode for you today on opportunity, on stepping in to a new opportunity. Store has a new owner, Luke Beasley. He's no stranger to you. You already know him. You already know his story. He talked all about it. He also talked about an opportunity he had a long time ago in his first business and some lessons he learned. And now he's got a new opportunity. And today's video is all about what does it take mentally to shift into a new opportunity, into a new business. Luke, tell us what you're doing now.
I got a golf cart business.
That's what we're sitting in right now, golf cart business.
That literally came out of nowhere. You know how people say like something came out of left field?
Yeah.
This came out of outer space left field. That's how far out of the universe this opportunity came. So
give us like the 30-second version. How'd you end up right here?
I said yes. That's how I ended up right here. No, it was presented this offer to own and operate this golf cart business. And short story is we said yeah, and here we are.
Here we are. And so new opportunity, new season, new business brings new things. So I want to ask Luke a few questions today because maybe you are entering into a new opportunity, or maybe you want to learn from some of the insights he's learned along the way. So I got 3 questions for you. Ready?
Sure.
Okay. Question number 1. What made you say yes to this opportunity? What do you think it was?
I think the biggest reason why we said yes is because it would provide an additional source of income eventually, but also provide a path for us to exit softly out of our wedding photography that we've been shooting consistently 30 weddings a year into shooting less of those and then transition income, from that over to this, and they still maintain that sort of income type of thing, but then do something that's more during the week and then kind of have weekends kind of free type of deal. Not that, when you're shooting weddings, like you work Saturday, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday potentially, and then you're off the rest of the week. In reality, and then you only work 3 days a week. So it's been a phenomenal opportunity. So I don't think we'll ever stop being photographers ever, but it's just how much of that do we want to do, and then can we change that income into something else and build another project or another business?
I think one thing to note, though, is that you guys are very good at shooting weddings. You're very known.
We're internationally known.
Yeah, you're very known. You just got back from Italy?
Yeah.
Italy? Yeah. You're very known. You're very good at it. So making a pivot into something new can, probably be a little crazy. How did that conversation go with you and Ashley sitting down saying, hey, should we do this?
I think we were both surprised and intrigued and didn't know what to say, a little speechless, but just said, well, we can figure it out and we'll do it. And we'll just figure it out.
But I'm sure because you both are high performers and because you have a great business, saying yes has to be selective. You have to have a reason to say yes. It has to be a wow reason. You said this came out of outer space, and you went from it in outer space to you saying yes and being here very quickly. Mm-hmm. So what about the idea did you and Ashley go, that's it, that's our next?
I think, to be honest, because the business was established, it was already making very, very good gross income and net income after looking at the P&Ls. And so looking at those as a business owner, you're taking that temperature challenge. Okay, is this worth it? Is this worth saying yes to? Can we grow this? What are the possibilities to this? It's sustainable as it is and doing very, very well, but can we take it to the next level? Yes, and for us, I'm looking at, like, when we came in, like the previous manager didn't do anything on the computer. Everything was paper trail. Mm-hmm. And so for me, as a young person doing everything on electronic CRMs, different things like that, I immediately was like, well, we can improve that section. So if we improve that, then there's got to be growth from that. Like just by improving that one area and improving the tracking system of how that stuff works, and there's got to be immediate growth. So that's a check in the positive. And we're not selling any new golf carts yet. So there's no new sales of golf carts. It's just used stuff. So we're sitting in a used custom built cart. We have other used ones out here as well. So once we become a dealer for somebody, then that opportunity grows even more because then we can offer more carts to somebody else. So the previous owners were unable to do new cart sales. So there's another check in the positive.
There's a combination of an established business, so there was some security in that, but also potential opportunity. You two saw potential opportunity to grow the business, to build it. I think that's That's awesome. Something you should look at is there some level of security in what you're moving into next? And is there potential opportunity?
Well, that was the problem with the first business is we saw the same concept, but what was different was the back-end structure and those, the partner that we had and some of the runway that we were using to get to the end goal. Whereas here, there's a huge, partner aspect to it. We have capital available to us, whereas the first business we did not. And then we have a strong partnership with the other person that we took over with, and their support there with that and stuff like that. So those are things that we didn't have before. Whereas the first time we just jumped in and we said we could figure it out, not counting and understanding the costs. Now we were able to look back and reflect on everything and be like, okay, we don't want this to be water and health, the water business 2.0. We need this to be a brand new thing. Can we do it?
What's one or two of the fears or doubts the two of you were talking about?
I don't think necessarily fears, but there's been a lot of overwhelming moments where it's like, why are we doing this? Even before we signed the paperwork to make it all official, I'm in here working it. And there was a few moments where I'm like, I haven't even signed anything yet. I can walk out of this right now and just turn it back over, because it was a lot when you first come into something, and you're trying to figure it out, and you're getting fed by Niagara Falls. There's not even a fire hose in this situation. It's Niagara Falls. You're trying to understand the systems, and you're trying to play catch up, and you have all these customers. Like every single 15 minutes, I told Ash, is like something new. Every 15 minutes, there's a new problem, a new issue, a new thing. So you're never able to really get initially focus on things. And then you got a friend that wants to come in and do a podcast with you, and
That's right. Keep him on his toes.
So it's just, so initially this is a lot of overwhelming moments. This is all doable, and it's been in business for 40 years, but it's just taking that boat and turning that rudder, and we're going to go into a different direction while still maintaining forward. But we just have to hold on and endure that current change, the turbulent change of that.
Last question after you is, how has your mindset had to shift to meet the demands of this new role, of this new business?
I think now it's just becoming more, I'm now working, I have a manager, and then I've got 2 techs in the back, and now it's going from independent business owner, where I do all the work and everything, now to developing the team and cultivating the team, culture maybe, and just getting us all on the same page to work together as a team going forward, versus like 3 or 4 people running around in different directions. As a solo entrepreneur, you got your spouse and stuff, which I'm her boss. When you finally, it's like you leave corporate America and you're working with a bunch of people, and you're like, oh, this sucks. These people aren't fun to work with, or whatever the reason is, the boss. You become a solo entrepreneur, and you're like, oh, this is amazing. Now I want to work with other people again, and I think I can, put in some really cool things with them. And then you finally get the opportunity to do so, and you're like, all right, cool, let's not mess it up, but let's have fun with it at the same time. Like you get to be the boss now with a team of people. So it's kind of cool.
It's kind of that level of responsibility.
Yeah.
Etches up a notch as well. Okay, so for those watching who are stepping into a new opportunity or a new season, and maybe they're a little afraid, and maybe they're trying to get their mindset right, what's one piece of encouragement you'd give them? Really just consider the cost of doing something new or taking the next step into an opportunity. The biggest thing that's changed for me is I'm not sitting at home editing, doing photo video work, mainly video stuff. I'm having to now do that more in the evening. So there's a handoff to where I can choose how much I want to work here and then go home and finish working there. Which has been my original plan, was to set up a server and do all that type of work here in between the moments of this business, but there hasn't been any in-between moments yet. I'm not even close to that. I thought I was going to be able to set up and like edit and, oh, you need something? Yeah, come on in, let's talk. Oh, simple problem, you go handle that. Let me go back to editing. It's not been, this is the complete opposite. Break away.
Yeah. No. So there has to be a complete separation between this job and then going home and finishing up the things I have to do there. So there's just going to be some responsibility shifts, some time shifts, and just mentally start thinking about that. Like what is going to change in my day-to-day in order for me to maintain and run this new opportunity versus the old opportunities, the old businesses, and then can our lifestyle, can our family, can our things handle that? And if so, then that's a box checked off, and then go to the next one and start going from there. So your mindset is important. You got to guard it.
and you got to count the cost. That's how you step into a new opportunity. Well, thanks for joining us today. I'll see you tomorrow.